Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele, and we are here to talk about endgame, tarot, and astrology of these final five players for Survivor 48.
Yay! Finally getting Chantele back here. We're going to talk all about it. But first, please subscribe to this channel if you're new here and give this video a thumbs up, please. So, yes, we've got a final five. I wish we knew final three so we could make like really good predictions. I also wish we knew like the two that were going to go to fire and we can make fire predictions, but we
Like
got to
maybe
go
we'll
with
be
our
able
five.
to predict that, right? We
Yeah.
will be able to see, like, okay, it looks like these two players might go to fire. And maybe even when we take a look back at to what we pulled beforehand, maybe we will be able to tell
Right.
who might go to fire and stuff like that. So it'll be fun to take a look back and then kind of look to the future too.
Yes. Hello, everyone in the chat. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Before we dive into our final five, and also I do have the final tribal chart. So that tells us, where things were lined up for that moment, which is going to help us make some predictions here. But just overall, Chantele, we haven't really talked Survivor lately. So just tell me how you're vibing with the season.
I mean, I really like a lot of the players. I think that they're really fun. But I guess with how my draft went, I'm not too plus with the season because I really, really loved a lot of the people that I had drafted and I wanted to see them play the game.
Right?
And I didn't really get a chance to see any of that. And so I guess like that kind of led me down like it's just a little bit of personal disappointment. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wanted to see Thomas and Bianca get back together and like see if like their friendship could blossom into like a strategic gameplay, and I didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
see that. And so, I love gameplay and I love strategy and I love, people making big moves. And so the way that a lot of this season has been leaning is not my favorite version of Survivor with like, oh, strong guys get to the end and we'll stick together. We'll win all the challenges. Yeah. No more
Right.
sneaky strategic people getting to the end and winning. And I'm like, well, I would be a sneaky strategic person. So let's get you guys out of here. So yeah. I
I
like
would have
the
liked to
season,
have seen
but it's not
Thomas
as
and
strategic.
yeah, I wanted to see the California girls do something. Thomas and Bianca, those were some definite early faves that we didn't get to see. How do you feel about the main alliance? No one making a move for a while there.
It's boring to me, right? Because like that's what I love about Survivor is usually you don't need anything to make a move. Like you could do like if you have an idea or you could gather the social capital with other players and you could make a move. Like that's what's fun to me about Survivor, and that's usually what makes Legends is when they're able to concoct like these plans and then make a move that benefits itself in the game. And it just hadn't really been happening. Like yes, we got a decent move this last episode, but it was like how many episodes went by that wasn't predictable,
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
no, they were they were pretty predictable. That is pretty boring television. I don't think I minded it as much as everybody else, but yeah.
yeah, you've been defending it a little bit. You mean like what you guys want idols, you guys want more
Yeah. You want
advantages,
advantages? Is that
but
what you want?
it's not the advantage that we want
Yeah.
something to shake things up. And
Yeah.
so if the players aren't going to do it, like, well, like, can we have an advantage or something that will do it? Like it's just for the end result, not for the advantage itself.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyways.
Yeah, and I've gotten a lot of that, and that makes a lot of sense, absolutely. All right, so we've got our final five because we did finally make a move. I don't know that it was the move that people really wanted, but they did make a move and took Shaheen out last week, which is a bummer because I did like Shaheen, but I just appreciated that a move actually happened. But that leaves us two duos and Mitch. One duo is super obvious. The other one is I'm not sure how obvious they are because it's looking like it's completely secret, but exit interviews are telling us it's not completely secret.
I mean, I think after the fact, like it's probably going to get revealed at tribal council, right? Or at final tribal. And so then people in their interviews can easily say like, "Oh yeah, like I could tell." Like they might not have known in the actual moment, but then once they had the reveal and they go back and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did kind of notice something, but I didn't say anything." So I think it's a little bit of having all the information and going back
Yes.
and kind of re-editing how they felt in the moment.
I think when you leave the show, granted, I've never played, but and someone's like, we were a duo the whole time, you just automatically are like, I mean, I knew you guys were close, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just your natural. You're not going to be like, what? I had no idea, even though you really didn't have an idea.
That's what I think.
Because you would have played differently had you really known,
100%.
right?
Like they wouldn't have been throwing, well, I don't know if they were part of this, but throwing Camila under the bus ever in front of Kyle, like things like that probably
Right.
wouldn't have happened. They probably wouldn't have shared certain information with either of them if they knew that they would likely be telling each other this information. So I agree with you. I don't think that they actually definitively knew. I think they're having a little bit of revisionist history here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm trying to share the image here. I'm gonna have to. StreamYard's a little different. I'm gonna pull up the chart for final tribal. It's a pretty wild chart. I thought I had this prepared a little better, but I did not. StreamYard has changed how I can share. Okay, here we go. Going to bring this in. Okay, so what I find really interesting about this is that it is a 29-degree ascendant and 29-degree sun, completely opposing. That's just a real intense degree. It's the very last degree. It is just the most heightened version of like wrapping something up. Rising Capricorn, sun in Cancer. It's about to go into Leo. It's very close. We also have Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, which is very intense. The sun is basically on the descendant, which the first thing I thought of is duos, right? The descendant is how we show up for other people. So that gives me a little duo thing. And then the midheaven is in Libra, which also screams out to duo. So I do feel like our two duos, or at least one of them, is going to have a significant part of this final tribal. What do you think, Chantele?
Well, what I think is interesting is that they have is 3 planets at 29 degrees, or well, I guess the ascendants there. And 29 degrees is also the fame degree, which is I'm just like, they usually say like if you look and you have 29 degrees in your chart, there is an element of fame that you might experience in your lifetime. And so that's making me think, I'm like, okay, maybe I wonder if it's going to be fame of somebody that maybe is a Leo. And then we have a couple Leos still left in the game, right? So isn't
we have one?
Just Camila, correct?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. What's Joe? He's a Sagittarius? I feel like
he's a Gemini.
Oh, he's Gemini.
He's not fire. He's a fireman.
Right. Maybe I just made a mistake there. Now that I'm also looking that having Libra on the midheaven there, Libra also sometimes is about lawyers and making decisions and stuff like that. So could that be an opportunity for a lawyer to step into the 10th house of recognition and having some success and notoriety there? And that would lean towards maybe a Kyle winning this game. And that kind of would maybe pair with Camila, right? Being that balance counterpoint with having the 7th house being in that fame degree of the sun, and then having, the balance happening in the 10th house, balance between Camila and Kyle. So So immediately, that's kind of where I'm looking at what this chart is. It's kind of between those two.
Yeah, and I will add to that along those lines. Whenever we look at a midheaven, we want to see what it's ruled by, and that gives us a bit more information about it. This Libra midheaven is ruled by Venus, and Venus is over there in Leo, which does help me sort of lean back towards Camila being our soul Leo here headed into the end game.
I mean, that it could be wild, because we do see in the preview for the next episode where she says, I don't think I could win if I'm sitting beside you. Now I'm wondering if that's because they're gonna have to go against each other in fire, or like where in the episode is this conversation happening? Is it because neither of them won the final immunity? Like, I'm not sure what happened there, but
Yeah.
it would be a very rewarding season if Camila were able to cinch this.
Oh, yeah. I would love it. I would love it. Another really interesting thing about this chart is that we have Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces at the bottom there. And that is an exact trine to the sun at 29 degrees Cancer. That Neptune is not seeing clearly, right? That is the illusion that you might have been living with during this game. And the sun is very much shining the light, saying, here is what was really going on.
And she did say that, I don't know if it was in the preview or if it was in the last episode, that she is confident that she'll be able to explain her game to the jury. And so that could be kind of in line with her unveiling, her secret duo with Kyle and what they've been doing behind the scenes that people haven't really been noticing. And then, yes, her stepping into the spotlight. And maybe that opportunity is happening at the final tribal council, where she's able to state her case and show that she dominated this game, but behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. I think also an illusion that could be shattered with this exact trine here might be this whole, I played my game as a loyal, trustworthy game, and then that not being respected, right? If you sit at tribal and you're like, I played this loyal game, and the jury's like, we don't care about that. You got me out and you didn't even want to play the game with me. I feel like that's also a bit of a delusion that gets shattered.
Well, and also with the first house, like having the 29 degrees there, first house is about self and like how you're seen by everyone else. And I kind of think that could be directly kind of opposing how people are perceiving people in the game. So like the Joes and the Evas and the Shaheens and the Davids that are like all about like self and body and strong, and that seems very first house energy. And then having that be tried with like the illusion of like, that's really how you play the game, I think is an interesting kind of comparison, we'll say. And it's kind of like, which part of that trine is going to win out? Like, is it going to be the public recognition, or like the self, and like, being all about how you're stepping into this game, and it's all about loyalty and about, brotherhood or whatever they're saying, or is it about like the illusion and then having, the Camila and the Kyle kind of win out with like, what, this is actually what was really going on, and this is how you actually play Survivor.
Yeah. Either way, whichever way it goes, I feel like there will be those like sort of mind blown moment, that at least one moment that we're going to see where someone's like, whoa, I'm seeing this differently. Also look at Mars at 0 degrees Gemini there, and Pluto 0 degrees Aquarius. That is also a bit of an exact trine here. And that is very intense. That's a bit explosive. I'm wondering if we're going to have some hot, heated moments.
Well, especially with, if Pluto's planet of transformation, and that being in the second house where it's like self-worth potentially. I wonder if, yeah, maybe there's going to be some tears or some like, really people needing to find value in themselves and talking about themselves in a way that maybe shows their growth or their emotional growth or whatever. But I agree that I don't know if it's going to be explosive. I feel like it's going to be emotional.
Oh, really? Well, I was thinking because they're in air signs. I mean, Mars is aggressive or assertive. Pluto is about power, right? When you have Pluto and Mars talking to each other, it is like a power struggle. I'm stronger than you, or I'm more powerful than you. And if it's in an air sign, I feel like words will be thrown and it'll be like, I outsmarted you. No, I'm more powerful than you. It will be the energy it carries. But yeah, you're right. I mean, anytime Pluto's around, it can get emotional.
No, but like you make a good point. What's Eva's sign again?
Eva is a Virgo, maybe? Yeah, Virgo.
Virgo, 6th house vibes, maybe. So Virgo, Mitch is a Taurus, Joe is
Well,
a
I'm going to pull
Gemini.
them up for you.
I'm just remembering
Yes.
just looking at this right now.
Virgo, Gemini, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus is Mitch.
Interesting.
Right?
Because there's not like 2 air signs, you know what I mean? But maybe it's like,
Okay. Right?
It's going to percolate.
Perk it up. We're going to go through them individually. We can do that right now. Let me show you. Let's go from
who you think will be out next?
Yeah, least concern. Well, okay. So that's a good point to bring up because this isn't like this is for final tribal. So if they don't make it to final tribal, none of this matters. It's hard to say who's going to,
Well, this chart does not seem to me like Mitch makes it to final tribal.
Yeah. And let me show you something else that means Mitch ain't going well. If he goes, there is nothing going on in this chart. So Mitch is on the outside, final tribal's on the inside. And if we're looking for important aspects, we're looking for support from Jupiter and Venus. His sun is in the 5th house, which isn't bad. That's probably the only good thing he has going, is that the 5th house is of games.
Right. Fun and games, but in Uranus,
it's like close,
Uranus,
right?
Yeah, Uranus, like with his sun. I don't know if that's
that's not supportive. That could be a shocking exit, actually. Like he might lose fire, or
something unexpected in the game. What could be unexpected?
He has
would be winning the next thing be unexpected?
Well, that would be unexpected. The Saturn is where is his Saturn?
His Saturn is in the 1st house.
Right, he's outside. But I'm looking at the natal, or not natal, but the transit for the tribal would be Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. And his Mars and Moon are in Pisces. So basically that means that Saturn has been transiting, because it's actually retrograde at this time. So that means during this season, Saturn was basically going over his Moon and Mars, which is really hard. And it's still pretty close at 19 degrees. That's not supportive. That's not celebratory. That's tough.
Yeah, he hasn't had the easiest game. No moves have been made. He's talked about wanting to make a move, but not actually following through with it. And I mean, with having Saturn, like lessons and teacher, just like sitting on your emotions and your action, like it really stunted his game. So it doesn't really support him moving that much ahead. Like,
I don't know if it's actually spoiled, but looking at everything, he would be my guess for next one out. Even though I think, like, don't leave 2 power duos in the game, but, like, I don't think he's got much game left.
Yeah, I don't. I
Looking
mean, what can
looking at
he
the
do
stars.
unless? Because wait, does Eva can still use her idol right now? This last tribal,
Yeah, this last tribal.
so
Mhm.
she's just got to use it.
She's gonna use it. And then if Joe wins immunity, or if she wins immunity, she plays it on Joe. Like, I feel like
Right,
both of them are pretty much set.
and then I just don't actually see Camilla or Kyle. Like, I think that if Camilla or Kyle take one of each other out, I think it loses them the game, because I think that the power of them being a secret duo would be them getting to the end together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just think that it loses all of its credibility if, they got one of each other out. And so I think that they're probably in that preview, that trailer, discussing, like, I think she was being a little more tongue in cheek, being like, "Oh, like, I can't really sit next to you." I don't think though she's actually going to vote Kyle out over Mitch. So yeah, I think Mitch is gone.
No, not yet. All right, let's go to Joe. Again, Joe's on the outside. Final tribal's on the inside. What I find really interesting about, now we don't know his exact time. So his moon could be 29 degrees Capricorn, which would be on the ascendant. And I have been thinking this whole time that he feels like a Capricorn moon. But what do you think? Because I mean, odds are low that he would be, odds are higher he'd have an Aquarius moon. But what do you think? The way he plays, he's just real hard.
He doesn't play like an Aquarius, in my opinion. He doesn't really think outside of the box. He's not really analytical in the way that I would predict an Aquarius moon would be. He's quite loyal. I feel like he's more of a builder. You know what I mean? Like, I just
yeah, he's a builder and a protector.
Yes.
Like, that's strong Capricorn moon.
Maybe we're just detecting his Saturn influence there.
Yeah.
So either Aquarius or Capricorn would have that. Saturn has that rulership.
Right.
But to me, he gives off more of an earthy, like Capricorn. He doesn't seem like a little loopy like an Aquarian can be.
Yeah.
But now I want Joe to win, because I do have one draft where I'm actually doing well.
Oh boy.
Well, not well, but I do have Joe still left, and I'll win some actual money. So,
okay, well, let's say Joe has a possibility. So Mitch was the only one that has, like, no, sorry, not happening. But the next 4 do have, some support, and it's all possible. So his moon could be on the ascendant, and that would be very interesting. Not necessarily winning, but that's interesting. I will say that no matter what, though, his moon is going through a bit of a Pluto issue, because, like, what if his moon is like 1, 2, 3 degree? Pluto close to your moon like that is hard. That is a bit of a death. Like, he's going through a hard time, and that does not scream winning to me. Go ahead.
I was just saying that, like, it screams emotional. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's going to be emotional tribal council. We did see him get quite emotional with speaking about his sister, and, him not able to be there for her, getting into a fight, wasn't able to protect her from her partner at the time. And so I do think that this actually might be like a deeply emotional tribal council. Well, for him anyways, it seems. What do you think about how 2 times, at least that I can remember right now, the fancy editing and sound editing have been involved with Joe? So we had in this episode with him, listening to Shaheen and then going in his head, and, like, sound editing was happening. And then the other time that I remember was with The Fly. I remember, like, they super zooming in on that fly up close and, like, slow-mo. And so they've been using some interesting editing tricks with Joe. What do you think that is? Because I don't think they've done that with anybody else this season. Could that be telegraphing that he's the winner? Because they're showing a lot of his inner thoughts and inner turmoil.
Yeah, I think that they are telegraphing that he is a significant part of this game for sure. Yeah, I don't know that he's winning, but he is gonna have, maybe he goes out at fire, or maybe he gives up his game for Eva. What if he like gives up fire for Eva? Or he even sits at tribal council and gives it to Eva. Like that's what I feel. I feel like it's a build him up, but for some sort of like
Oh.
not necessarily a fall, but like a loss, like a
I'll be really
I don't
disappointed
know.
if he gives up his game to Eva. I will be. I go through the season.
Oh my gosh. If someone gave up their game at all for someone else, I would just like lose my mind. No, that's wild. Don't do it. I hope he does not do it.
He's not gonna. He can't, right?
I will say another positive to help him is that he's got a sun in Gemini, and Jupiter is in Gemini right now. They're not tight. Like that's not a great support, but it is like a bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like he's got some support, but I just don't, this is not it's not screaming I win here.
Well, also I guess we don't know if it's going to be in the same house. I guess we did. Well, 21 with his Mars being like not a super close conjunction with Uranus, that could also be something unique that was similar to Mitch there.
Right.
And so maybe it is a loss at fire. Maybe. Maybe it is a loss at final tribal, because it is a fun and games portion. Maybe he loses that's gonna be maybe he loses fire.
Yeah.
Or like something.
Yeah, his Venus is on Mars. That's not good. His Jupiter is close to the tribal council Venus, and that rules the midheaven. So that's not bad. That's good. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag here.
Better chart though than Mitch's. So.
Yes, better than Mitch. So Joe does better than Mitch. I think we could have figured that out already. All right. I want to do Eva next. Let me pull up Eva, because I think she might have even better odds here. Although there is a Mars Saturn thing happening right here at 0 degrees Gemini.
Interesting. And then like those Jupiters are almost conjunct,
but then
as well.
Those Jupiters are close.
That seems like good luck. That seems like lucky. That seems like it feels like she gets to the final tribal council.
Yeah, right. Because I will say that it's separating, because it's not exact. Like the Saturn Mars is exact. Jupiter, it's harder. I don't know how everybody else reads it. It's harder to read it upside down to me. But Jupiter would have already been on her Jupiter, right? Because her Jupiter is 9. So transiting Jupiter already gave her Jupiter.
Oh, so maybe she's already had her luck.
Right. So I feel like, yeah, she makes it to tribal, but we're separating, right? We're moving apart.
Away
so
from her. That's a good point.
Not as strong as that Mars Saturn, which is hard. That's hard.
Also, though, it seems as though people aren't threatened by an Eva win. And so it seems like, remember when Xander, we're like, Xander, we're like, why isn't anybody trying to get out Xander? Or like, why isn't he using his idol? Or why isn't he considered to be a threat? And it's because everybody wanted him to go to the end, because they didn't think that anybody would vote for him for the winner. And so it feels similarly with Eva here in this situation. And maybe like, she's had a lot of great luck. Firstly, happening to be on a tribe with Joe, able to connect with the exact right person to do what, or to be the rock that she needed in the game. And had that her moment a few early episode where he was able to comfort her and kind of bring her back, then having the idol given to her, finding these going on these journeys. Like, she's had a lot of very positive luck in this game, but because it's separating, I'm going to have to agree with you that, maybe this is how far her luck is going to take her, and it doesn't actually take her to the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a good chart. She might make it to final, but I will also point out, though, that her Mercury is at 12 degrees Virgo, and Jupiter is at 12 degrees Jupiter. So Jupiter is supporting her Mercury, and Mercury rules her sun. So that is a plus. We like what rules your sun, giving you visibility, the spotlight on you. But yeah, again, this is a bit of a mixed bag here. Gazoon tight.
I coughed, actually, but
oh, okay.
Thank you.
Excuse you. I don't know, whatever. So stick with me here because they get better.
Ooh.
Let's go to Kyle.
Ooh.
His Jupiter is exactly on the midheaven of the tribal council.
Wow.
That ain't too shabby right there, guys. That's pretty nice.
I mean, when I met him, he was in a good mood. I mean, we were quite far, we weren't that far into the season, but that's winner's energy. And with having all those planets together, like that's just so much support for his Scorpio-ness. I mean, his chart looks pretty good.
His moon is in the 5th house. 5th house we like for games. That's not bad.
But it still has it with that just almost conjunct the Uranus, though. So I wonder if, what's the unexpected thing might happen there,
That's true. Boy, we got some good Uranus influence. I like unexpected. Saturn, however, at 19 degrees Pisces is talking to his Scorpio stellium up there. He's got a lot in Scorpio, including his sun, which is ruled by Mars, which is also up there. It's not a close aspect if his Mars is 23 and Saturn's 19. I mean, I would technically say that those are trining. So that does give us a little bit of challenge. It's not exact. It's not perfect. The Jupiter on the midheaven is beautiful, but Saturn is also involved, and that might just mean he really has to work at it. Like, it's a hard fought battle.
Like, we have his birth time?
No.
Okay. Well, just the fact, though, that having the MC and Jupiter, it's just all in the 10th. Well, I guess I would assume it would be in the 10th house, right? Even if we don't have his time, just from the degree.
Right.
Correct?
It's in the 10th house of the final tribal.
Right. That's recognition, right? And we, with Venus being there too, not in a close conjunction, but that's all about values and maybe it's his values of this game. And so I like him having these two very, very positive planets in the 10th house of the final tribal council. I think that's very much supports him being successful this time around.
Yeah.
Because Venus can sometimes, it's like money. It talks about money and how much value you get out of certain things. And so having that in your, tribal council's house of public recognition, I don't know. It could mean some dollar signs, but what if it means second place dollar signs?
It could mean that as well, because hang tight. We got one more to look at. Let's pull up Miss Camila. All right, Camila.
So her Jupiter's there too. Wow.
Jupiter is trining Jupiter. That's some real good support. Jupiter is sextiling her sun. That's pretty nice for visibility. Um,
It's conjunct the Venus, Tribal Council's Venus.
exactly. Y'all, that's so good. Remember, Venus rules the midheaven, and her sun is conjunct. Like, it's not even sharing just the same house. It is like on it. So like Kyle had like 1 to 2 really good things. She's got like 3 really good things.
And she also like because she also shares though that Jupiter in that 10th house. Man, so I think it's going to be a battle between the two of them, right?
That's interesting because I think if the two sit together, how do they differentiate their game? And Kyle, at this point, has the moves over
But I
her.
think so because a lot of the people that are sitting in that jury, like David is so bitter, and I think that he's mad at Kyle. He wasn't
Mm.
playing the game with Camilla. And so if Joe learns that Kyle lied to him about, he's not going to be mad at Camilla. He's going to be mad at Kyle. Shaheen is going to be mad at Kyle, not at Camilla. And so she might be able to take the positive credit from these moves because they're going to be irritated with Kyle for going against the big boys, the bros. So
Here's another fun thing, Chantele. Look at the nodes. In both sets of nodes, Tribal and Camilla, there is a Jupiter connection. Y'all, the nodes are
whoa.
like fate. Like
Yep,
that is,
destiny line.
yeah, destiny, karma, like where we're headed in life purpose. And like her Jupiter's on the Tribal Council nodes, and her nodes are on the Tribal Council of Jupiter.
That's actually really
Gives me
auspicious.
chills. Gives
That's
me chills.
pretty auspicious for sure. And especially having that, like the nodal conjunction with Jupiter in the 10th house again. You know, the 10th house is public recognition, and having your destiny line be there with Jupiter as an expansive energy and good luck.
Yep.
That seems pretty lucky.
So if Kyle has Venus up there, which is great, but Jupiter is greater, and she's got Jupiter up there.
Wow.
That's pretty wild, you guys.
I think
Move.
I think that she's going to be able to talk her way into a win. And like we've been hearing some sound bites of hers up and throughout the season. When Kyle revealed to her that he was a lawyer, she said it didn't change anything about you know, how she feels about him in the game, but I think it's going to change how she speaks about herself in the game in the final tribal council. So I just wonder if they put that in there because it's going to be maybe part of his downfall. You know what I mean? Like she knows now how to maybe come to kind of to compete with him, you know, to combat him in that final tribal. So I'm wondering if this is gonna, if that was indicative that she might be able to out argue or out jury, you know, evocation, whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, y'all. That's pretty exciting because I like can't really. I mean, I feel like Camilla could win if she sits next to Joe and Eva because they can't separate their games. So give it to Camilla. But if you put Kyle and Camilla there, it would be really hard win for her. But I feel like she can do it. If she's not there for some reason, which I'm sorry, I don't know how that chart doesn't even make it to final.
Absolutely. No, that would be
That's a
wild.
wild chart.
No, there's too many lucky things with that chart. And then even when we're just looking at the final tribal chart just on its own, it was still supportive of her, seemingly her and her energy getting to that tribal. So
yeah,
she has to get there.
And her and Kyle. Do you guys think that her and Kyle are going to get there together? Should we pull cards?
I think so. I think they will. At this point,
so that means that probably, because we feel like Mitch is probably going to go, and then that means Joe and Eva are going to go to fire together. Y'all, that would be wild.
And the fireman loses fire.
I will lose my mind. Or maybe he wins fire and he's just absolutely gutted. Like that's very Moon Pluto, right? That is just devastating to him, even though he like has a little success, but he's gutted by it. Oh my God, that would be dramatic. And maybe that supports the edit because they've been building them up as like just this like beautiful duo, right? This beautiful partnership. And if they go to fire together, that makes sense for the edit. Although, y'all, I will be screaming. Okay, wait. Who are we going to go for first?
What are we pulling for? Should we start with Mitch? Let's go same order.
Sure. Let's start with Mitch. Poor sweet Mitch. He just has Saturn transiting some important planets, and that's just a hard time.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun.
For all of us.
Did you ever pull like day 1 on the beach chart? Did you ever find out what time that was?
I did look at it, but I didn't really like compare. Whoa, shoot. 9 of Swords.
Oh, 8 of Swords.
Oh, poor Mitch.
Not great.
This is very hard cards. Oh my gosh.
I mean, 8 of Swords, it's like he's going to be trying to do something, but he's going to be drawing dead. Like it's just nothing's going to be happening for him here. This card is usually like you're in your own nightmare. That your card is like actual nightmares.
This is the actual nightmare. Yeah. And then, the 8 of Swords is like the nightmare building in your head. Okay. So, this is really not good. This is not making it even final, I wouldn't say. Oh, poor sweet Mitch. But hey, you made it to final 5, Mitch.
Yeah, it's great.
You got to hang out with people on a beach. Okay, next is Joe. Let's do Joe next.
Oh.
Ooh. What you got? Oh, I got the Fool.
I got the Sun.
Oh, okay. He is winning fire or the game.
But the Fool would make me think it's not the game.
Right. This is some sort of beginning. Which maybe so the Sun is winning the fire and then going into final tribal. He just like does not have the information, has no idea what actually happened in the game. Yeah,
like they're going to make him look bad, being like, yeah, we duped you a couple of times, we got you to take out people that weren't actually coming for you, so he might look a little bit foolish final tribal, but I think he gets there at this point.
2 major arcana cards, he's making it. What deck are you using?
I'm using the, what is it called?
It's cute.
Yeah, it's the Pulp Fiction Tarot.
Oh, cute.
Not actual Pulp Fiction, but
yes, I think it's final astrological finale winners. Yes. We're pulling cards for final endgame energy. Who's got the good cards? All right, so this is Eva next. Eva. Oh, this is pretty decent. 10 of Cups.
But then the Moon.
And the Moon. This is absolutely being loved and adored and having, wishes fulfilled. But the Moon would be the illusions that we talked about earlier.
Well, I think that she does have a little bit, like she doesn't have all the information. She's also just been duped a little bit by Kyle and Camila, similarly to Joe. She kind of said like anybody that sits next to me or Joe at the final council, they know they're going to lose. And I'm like, maybe against Joe, but I don't think that she realized that people don't perceive her as a winner threat. So I think that her perception of her game and how it's being received might be a little bit hidden or unseen or unclear.
10 of Cups doesn't make me think she loses fire, though. I mean, Kenzie won with the 10 of Cups. And the moon is a major arcana card. This
But
is
the
intriguing.
sun, though, I think is a more, well, the
The sun
Fool.
is better.
Do you think that he gives it to her?
Oh my God, seriously.
Like a
Y'all.
foolish move?
The cards are not saying it. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. But whatever, like whenever she goes out, it's gonna be, I mean, it could be emotional, right? 9 of Cups is still emotional, but it's still a pretty positive emotional.
Do you say 9 of Cups or 10 of Cups?
Not 9. No, 10. You're right. I had 10. Sorry.
Because 10s are new beginnings with lessons learned. And so
And endings, right?
Okay.
Do you think of 9s as the ending or the 10s?
No, 9 is, I think of 9 as an
As the
ending, and
endings?
10 is a new beginning. It's like a 1. I mean, I could see her, do you know what? I could see her having trouble making fire. And like, oh my God, I'll roll my eyes probably. And he comes over and like helps her make fire or something like that. And like, I think he still might win, but maybe he helps her make fire in the end. And she, you know, it's like a very tearful and like happy moment, kind of, even though he beats her.
I don't know. If we're looking at these two together, he might let her win. Like she could win with his help. Or he still wins. I don't know. This is interesting.
I think he's going to help her make fire, though. I think
he's definitely help her,
like,
but like before or during it.
I feel like it'll be during. Like, that's what I'm picturing. I don't know if I'm just like, I don't know, having this.
He gets his fire started and then he goes over.
Like she's having trouble and she's getting, you know, a little bit focused, but in her head about it. And like, we've seen that when she's really focused and it's not working, she's not doing well, she kind of might have an episode of some sort. And I feel like his fire will be going. Sorry, Xavier, that's very funny.
Yes. Right.
And then going over and helping her just at least make fire so that, do you think you'd be allowed to help?
There's rules. I have no idea. I bet there's not a rule that you can't help.
Because that's going to create such a beautiful moment for Jeff.
Oh my God. Y'all, the more we talk about it, the more I feel like something's happening at this fire between Joe and Eva. This is
that would definitely be something Uranus worthy.
Yeah, right.
Like
very
surprising.
Okay, Kyle. Let's see. Kyle, can you beat these cards?
Oh.
Ooh, I got Queen of Cups.
Great. I have the World, but in reversed.
Is this Camila?
It could be Camila. It could. I mean, I think he gets to the end. He does sit beside a woman, it seems. At least one. We're just having the World is obviously it's a great card. If it was upright, I'd be like, okay, Kyle's winning. But since it's in reverse, I'm thinking that he sits beside Camila and Eva or Joe, and I think that Camila might be taking out the win from him.
Yeah, this is if this is representative of him, then he does get appreciated. He's able to speak and connect to people's hearts, but he doesn't quite grab the bag.
Yeah. If this was upright, I'd be like, yep, taking it.
Yeah.
But it just means that he doesn't get to actualize this energy fully.
Right.
It's like he gets close.
But this could be the person next to him, you know, if we're looking at them together. Interesting, Kyle. Okay, that leaves Camilla. Let's see.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I had just a thought of what might happen.
Uh-oh. Okay. This is
Oh, I got 9 of
yeah.
Cups in reverse.
Oh,
So what if, okay, this is my scenario, that they split the votes 4-4.
yeah.
And that whoever's in third place is going to have to cast the winning vote, because that's why maybe both, it's not clear, right? Like both of them have winning cards, but it's not definitively winning.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if the third place finisher will be deciding who is going to win the game. And I think if it's either Joe or Eva, I think that Kyle will end up winning the game. If it's split, if it's tied.
These are not the best winner cards. Ace of Swords and 9 of Cups reverse. If it was upside, if it was right side. Again, Kenzie went with the 9 of Cups, or did the 10 of Cups? I don't remember
10
now.
of Cups, 10.
Okay. 9 of Cups is really lovely and supportive. Ace of Swords could just be having like the words. This could be, I mean, if it was like King or Queen of Swords, I'd feel better about her having the words. And Ace of Swords is like just beginning to have the words.
Yeah, like does somebody's words take her out? Yeah, I don't know. I'm predicting now there's going to be a tie in this final tribal council, and I think that the third place person is going to choose who's winning the game.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible.
I feel it though. Like it doesn't. It seems like that because Jeff was so positive about this season. I was like, well, for somebody that loves this season so much, or it's like, oh my god, you can't wait till season 48. Like it hasn't been that kind of season for me. But if it has an epic ending like that, it could bring it together. You know what I mean? It could help the season out a bit, having an epic finale.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a noodle in my brain now. Astrologically, Camilla is far above everybody else. Those cards, though, that is an interesting
wrinkle.
Joe has the Sun, that's great, but he has the Fool, that's not so great. Eva has the 10 of Cups, that's great, but she has the Moon, that's not so great. Kyle has a Queen of Cups, that's lovely, but the World was in reverse. That's not that great.
And then the last one here, Ace of Swords and
Ace
Nine
of Swords
of Cups
and 9 of Cups. Ace of Swords is like meh, and 9 of Cups reversed. No. I don't know.
Now it just confuses everything, but I'm going to go with my, now, like, even though astrologically it's a little bit more beneficial for Camilla, I'm predicting a tie, and that out of the outcome for that tie, Kyle will be the sole survivor. That's my thought. Okay. Unless they're mad at him.
What if the two people are Kyle and Eva? If I'm looking at just these cards,
Kyle wins. Oh,
Eva wins because her 10 of Cups
voting for her. Especially if Kyle is talking about how she didn't really know what was going on. She didn't, like, cool, you didn't need to use your idol, but it was because nobody was threatened by you, you know? Like if she uses
yeah, I mean, I feel like there is that argument of like you had the idol and you had the other advantage, and like I mean, she can say, well, I didn't have to use them because my social game was so good or whatever. And then someone could say, but like you could have made a move with them and you didn't make any moves, right? She didn't make any moves. She just voted with her group and
her team. There's no
Look,
tea.
she's my winner pick
That's
preseason.
true.
So I'm not gonna hate it if she takes a win, y'all. But I don't.
Who's
think
my winner pick?
that's gonna
Thomas?
happen. Probably. He was great though. He was fun. He was a fun character. Oh man, it's hard to make predictions now. I think the only solid prediction we can make is that Mitch goes out first.
And some
then
unique stuff happens in
and
this
some
final.
unique, yeah. And that it is going to be a bit wild and dramatic. I do think that we still have that Mars and Pluto to remember, and the Neptune Sun stuff. The night before would be the fire. So that's a little different of a chart, but it still has similar, similar makeup. It's going to be a different ascendant in midheaven, but
the moon will move around a little bit.
And the moon. Mm-hmm. So the moon would be in Capricorn instead of Aquarius, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be a fun battle
at Easy Access. Just the maybe not all 5 of them, but like Camila and Kyle's original card pulls.
Yeah, preseason card pulls for Camila are the Devil, 8 of Cups, and the Tower. Have we seen her hit the Tower?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how she had her? Yeah, she's had.
I think the tower
her tower was that was early, or it was when like the first little mini swap where she had to like completely lie and got out Thomas. So
yeah, and the Devil is absolutely, she's such a devil. She just lied about a idol.
She loves lying too.
She was like, please let me make a complete lie with no truth in it whatsoever, like not even a hint of truth. So that makes a lot of sense. The 8 of Cups,
emotional, leaving things behind.
Kyle had the 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, and the Ace of Cups.
These are not great cards.
This is why we did not pick them as winners preseason
at all.
Interesting. Mitch had the King of Swords, Sun, and 5 of Cups. He had the Sun. He got his moment.
Yeah, he was like great at challenges early on in the beginning.
But that 5 of Cups is coming up.
So yeah. Was that the final 5?
Some loss. Mm-hmm. Final 5 loss.
Yeah. Walking away from, I guess not 3 people, 4 people, but close enough.
Joe had the Wheel of Fortune,
which sometimes could be good or bad.
He also had the 4 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. Those are pretty spot on. 2 of Pentacles is his duo.
Mm-hmm.
4 of Swords is the fact that he basically just laid back the whole time.
Yeah, pretty complacent.
Yeah. Eva has the Justice, 9 of Wands, and 9 of Cups.
9 of Cups twice? Did I just give her for 9 of Cups, or was that someone else? No, that was Camila. Never mind.
Yeah, that was Camila.
Okay.
Oh, so Eva takes out Camila. Oh.
Maybe.
9 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Those are good cards. She still has
9 of Wands is kind of badly bruised, but not broken. So
that's true. That's perseverance. She did have her moment, her 9 of Wands moment that she had to fight through.
And she might have another one at this final tribal. If I'm predicting correctly, she's doing fire.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so bummed that I can't walk away with a solid prediction. I really thought I was going to predict Camila, but now after I saw the cards, I'm not sure I'm going to predict Camila. But this is going to be fun no matter what.
Yes. Yeah. I'm predicting that there's going to be a tie.
Okay. I like that. I like that prediction. And I think we both predicted Eva and Joe for fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Joe helps her. Joe helps her / possibly gives up. his game for her. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
I mean, I really hope that that's not the true prediction, but I also want it to be because, like, it just would give me such,
That's some
pride.
television right there. I don't think Jeff would like that though. Like when he says he's excited about a season, you got to think about like what he likes. I don't think he likes that, right? Does he? Or is he caught up in the whole Joe
But
of
he
it all?
he's talking about it being a season of duos, right? Season of pairs, season of duos. And
He really
so this
was.
is like, and he loved that. He cried at that moment with Joe and Eva. So I think that the father daughter type moment, I think he would appreciate that. Be like, even in a game of Survivor for $1 million, you can see the humanity is still, you know what I mean? He might want that
Yeah.
story.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chantele, for being here and doing this with me. I love this stuff. And you guys in the chat are amazing. I appreciate you guys. Chantele, what are you doing for the finale?
Well, I've been training for the new airline, and so I will be in Calgary. So I will be watching it from my hotel room. Maybe because I have to wake up. Well, hold on. I'll be in Calgary, so that's going to be in mountain time.
Oh, so it's a little earlier.
Oh, I could watch it early. So okay, it won't be that bad because I need to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Or no, maybe 5. So yeah, I could still watch it though because of mountain time. It'll be on a little bit earlier. So watching it from my hotel room.
All right. Well, I'll be watching it here with David, and then we will be live directly after. And then I will have all of the people the next day, all final 5, talking to them. So everyone stay tuned. And if you haven't heard yet, I'm doing exit press for a new show called Destination X.
Congrats.
So,
I saw that.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited to get in with NBC. And so that starts next week. So hang tight, stick with me. We got fun stuff. Have you seen that show, the preview?
I mean, I think I wanted to audition for it, but maybe they weren't accepting people from Canada. But I saw that 20-minute preview. It looks pretty fun. I don't think that we needed to have reality stars come on it. You know what I mean? Like I think the regular players would have been fine on their own, but what can you do? They just can't get enough of like bringing in reality stars. Pilot Pete's back.
Got to get Pilot Pete whenever you can. And Josh, I guess.
Not my favorite. I've actually been covering Pop the Balloon on Chappelle's channel, Recap Kickback. And we've been talking about, so did you know the concept of Pop the Balloon?
No.
Basically, it was a YouTube show that this woman had been doing for the last year that's been super successful, where there's about 8 men or 8 women, and then someone from the opposite sex will come out, and those 8 men or women are holding a balloon. And so if there's anything about the person that comes out on the stage that they aren't vibing with, they pop their balloon, and then they go and chat, why'd you pop your balloon? And then they start asking some questions, dating-wise, and then if you didn't like the questions, you pop your balloon. And so Netflix decided to do their own version of Pop the Balloon that hasn't been, in my opinion, as successful as the YouTube version, but they've been bringing on pop stars. And I'm like, like what's special about the YouTube version is that everybody is just regular, not these like pop stars where they're called pop stars on the show. That like they've already been on these reality shows or dating shows, and so people just love bringing them reality stars onto every show nowadays.
They sure do. And the stars are willing to do it, right? They want the paycheck. So this is the new world that we're in.
Or whatever. Like they want the clout.
Extension of their 15 minutes. All right, you guys. Thank you again. We will see you next time. Bye.